Good morning. It is Monday morning, the first Monday since the time change. And I made it through yesterday, but today is, some of us are just dragging. What does that mean for you? Nothing. Nothing. Shows stay the same. Mildly entertaining sometimes, and then other times just, we get through it. This is what we do. So, got the microphone. I know that it's working. I did hit the record button. It is our 15th consecutive live stream, and I'm happy to be able to be here for you. I know your real estate needs are vast, and I'm here to help solve that problem. A lot of times, people, they start off being addicted to real estate by staring at listings online, and then maybe they decide to buy a house, which would be good. And then they decide they're looking online still. I mean, they've already bought a house, but they're still looking online for another house, and so they move. And this is a person that I would love to know, because they would help my business tremendously as they buy and sell real estate. You can add to your addiction by watching my live stream. It's at 9 a.m. Central Time, Monday through Monday, because it's every day of the week for the most part. If it's not, I'll tweet it out. I've got 30 followers on Twitter, so that, everybody should get the message. That's and then what we do is we take a real estate broker. I'm a real estate broker, and what we do is we take my perspective on everything, and we apply it to articles that we see, listings we see, real estate information and news that we digest. That's what this is for. Also, you can come along. Maybe you have a question. Maybe you're confused by something. Maybe you're mad at real estate agents and you wish they would all go away. Well, tell me about it. I'm okay. I understand where I fit in on the food chain. I think that real estate agents should still be above politicians. But if we're not, and if we're just below used car salesmen, that's totally okay. Whatever. Let's have some fun though. Life is short, and we're not going to be here forever. On the show today, I think that's important. I think we should do a little bit more, previewing what's going on the show today. We've got our listings. We're going to go out to Norfolk, Virginia for some luxury listings. We're going to have some Google Trend news, and then we're going to look at some articles. I don't remember what the articles are about today, but we've got plenty. We'll also have a showing report. I showed some houses this weekend. We have an offer update, which is going to be fun. And so yeah, that's the show today. 3 minutes in, I've got my intro done. I think I'm just going to run right into the stories because I've been running long lately. I don't know why. Maybe I've just been rambling. Let's get to it. Yesterday, I was scheduled to show houses in the afternoon to a bunch of different buyers, and that didn't work out. I ended up just showing one condo to a buyer who's just starting the process, and it was fun. It was fun because, how do I put it? Well, number one, I don't have a lot of condo sales. There's not a whole lot of people that say, hey, and when they do want to buy a condo, it's like, this is the last home I'm ever going to buy, or this is the last. So it's kind of depressing. This lady's not checking out or anything. She's just a single lady that doesn't want to do yard work. And she's a worker. She works hard. I'm impressed. I'm impressed by her work ethic. And so she wants to live close to her family. And so we set up a search. And what I did was set up a search by drive time. And so I set it up a map, 15 minutes in rush hour to her family. So that way, if things are really, crazy on the road, she can at least be at her house within 15 minutes at her friend's homes and her family's home. And I have that ability to make those searches in my system. My system, a lot of people will say, well, why don't we just use realtor.com? Why don't we just use Zillow? First of all, we know why we want to use Zillow. They decided they were going to be real estate agents instead of, they're going to be greedy. They were going to charge real estate agents, and then they were going to go out and flip houses. And that pretty much ended any sort, after they said they weren't going to do that. And so after they did that, that was the end of them as far as I'm concerned. Now, our big company is still using Zillow, paying them money for leads. Yes, absolutely, because that's their business model. They have to show leads to their agents, or else their agents will leave, because they're conditioned on the idea that you have to pay for these leads from Zillow. So that's for them. Realtor.com, we use it on the show. I mean, I don't have any issue with Realtor.com. It's not owned by the realtors. It's owned by Fox, which is weird, but whatever. But none of those really have drive time, and none of those are as accurate as what I have on my system. And so the drive time feature, I think, really comes into play a couple ways. One, let's say you're a doctor, and let's say you want to be within 20 minutes of your hospital because of emergencies. I mean, done. Not an issue. And then, like in this case, you want to be close to family members, but not too close. Not too close, but close enough. So that's how we set up the searches. And they're pretty accurate. Now, will they change over time? Sure. Traffic patterns change over time. But the ability to, every 15 minutes, I can set up a search within, in 15-minute increments. And you can be pretty close to, every day of the week, every time of the day, you can have a search set up. And I think that's pretty cool. I think it would be especially helpful if there was a family out there where both family members went to work, and they wanted to kind of settle on a place where neither one of them had to do too much of a drive. There are things that come into play, though, unfortunately, with that. In my experience, if you live in St. Louis, if you've grown up here, you tend to have a particular place where you just want to live. It doesn't have anything to do with work. Maybe you're from a certain part of town or something, and you just want to stay there. A lot of kids in St. Louis that live in the county will move to the city when they're in their 20s, and then move back out, later. And not as much now. There was the big construction boom where there was all those condos downtown, and all the kids were moving down there, and then they were getting married and they were moving out. But I don't know that that's the case anymore. I have not had anybody ask me to move in or ask me to show them condos in downtown St. Louis in some time, where it used to be a thing. I don't know if that's just because it's all settled down there and everything's fine, or what, but I've not had anybody ask me for a long time. So anyway, let's get to that showing. It was a condo. Now, the requirements for my buyer are pretty simple. They want a certain price that fits their budget, and they want a garage. Okay, that's not impossible. I can do that. But if you guys have ever been to Baldwin, and if you're in a condo in Baldwin right now, I would just like to say, hey, what a wild construction setup that is, because we went into this house. We went in, and there was a door. We opened the door, and immediately there's a staircase up and a staircase down. So we chose down, and that was what we thought was the basement. So we looked at the basement. It was dated. It was what I would call the Golden Girls motif. I mean, it was perfectly set for 1987 or so. I mean, and the Golden Girls were in like Florida, I believe. And so like a beach theme made sense, right? But we're not in Florida, and I don't know that a beach theme makes any sense when we're not even close to a beach. I don't know how it even made sense then. So we're sitting there, and I mean, it's old. The carpet's got this weird blue from that time frame, but it's still okay because the price isn't too ridiculous. So we walked through it, and then we walked upstairs, and big area. But I mean, track lighting, which is kind of disappeared. Um, it just was dated. The kitchen was pretty bad. It was a bad situation for the money. It was okay, but the price was really high. And then we looked at the deck, which was was nice. There was one deck, and then we looked at the other side, and there was another deck. So there's two, and we're like, wow, this is great. But then when we were on top of the one deck and looking down, there was another one, and we're like, how do you get to that one? Right? Because you think that you have this whole setup. Well, we looked around, and it turns out there's a door behind the door that we went in to go in, and that is for a different unit. There's actually a a floor in between your unit. Okay, so between your basement and your main floor, there is an apartment, or there's a condo, and then that condo has that deck. So there's a big, huge deck that you don't get, and like you're above the person and below the person. So, for noise, that person's right above you in the basement. And then if you want to piss them off, you go up to your upstairs and you stomp around upstairs. Now, a couple of weird things about this unit that I thought. First of all, what does one do with it? Has a porch, it has two decks. What do you do if you're a single person? What do you do with two decks? Like, which one do you choose to use? That's number one. Number two, it had the main bathroom. First of all, it had carpet in half of it, which you know what I think about carpet in bathrooms. And then you get to the main bathroom, and it had a jacuzzi tub, which is cool, right? We all want a jacuzzi tub. But then it had a shower, and the shower stall was like the 4-foot long one or the 4-foot wide one, which is not enough. I mean, it's just there's a huge jacuzzi. I mean, first, most people take showers now. I mean, we're not rocking the jacuzzi tub every day to go to work. So that was weird. That was weird. And it wasn't like you could fix that shower problem. You were going to have to come in and you were going to have to paint. You were going to have to come in and pull out all the flooring. There's no question. And then all the fixtures would need to be updated. You would need a new kitchen. And we were in the mid 200s for a condo. So didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I'd like to know what you think. Put it in the chat. Leave it in the comment section. Let me know. So we didn't make an offer. Maybe that's the bottom line. Now I want to go a certain direction here. Okay. So, as you may have known, we did put an offer in on a property on Saturday night. Offers due Saturday night by 5, decision by 6 on Sunday, which I didn't particularly like because I like the opportunity to show houses on Sunday. But we wrote our offer for my buyers and found out about 2 o'clock yesterday that our offer was not accepted. Well, why wasn't our offer accepted? What did I do wrong? Well, that goes into how we look at houses, or at least how I do as an agent. Now, what I do with my buyers is we go look at a lot of houses, and by the time these people are in a certain area, they're in a certain zip code, and they know exactly where they're at. And what happens is, well, let me check. What happens then is when you do see a house that you want to put an offer on, you kind of know what you should ask, or we think. I mean, I think that you're comfortable with your asking. Let me get a drink too, because I don't know. They said the allergies are going to be high today. Okay. So where was I on this one? So it's it's an experienced approach. Like you see enough units, you see enough houses in a certain area, you start to know like what's worth it and what isn't. So when we wrote our offer, I said, what is the max price that you'd be comfortable with paying on this home? And if you didn't get it, you could sleep at night. And they gave me a number. It was over asking. Okay. So I wrote an offer. I had an escalation clause in there. We were in over asking. Okay. Now, when I talked to the guy, he said that there were 4 offers. Now, this morning, on Sunday morning, all of a sudden there were 9. So there's 9 offers on this house. Now, your odds, I mean, let's just go for your odds. So your odds on getting it, if there's 4, everything else being equal, you've got a 25% chance of getting the property. When there's 9, you've only got an 11% chance. So you can see, like, when you see multiple offers, like in the 30s and 40s, those are not, that's not good odds. It'd be nice if the odds were in your favor, right? So we didn't get the house. And I was kind of surprised. We put in a really strong offer. So the guy I would give him credit. I mean, I have nothing against the fellow. He's a nice guy, I'm sure. The listing agent did write us all. And here's what he said. He said 5 included escalation clauses. The contract that was chosen did not include an escalation clause, but had the highest price even after all others escalated to the max. So someone came in above our escalation clause went to a certain number. They came in above that as their main offer number, which is crazy. It says 2 presented unaltered inspection terms. So that means that they wanted their straight inspections like normal. 5 had less than 10-day inspection period, which ours did. 5 removed option 3 repair and replace option, and 2 promised not to ask for any single item under a certain amount. That's where we were asked. And I wouldn't feel I would always do that. I can't imagine. Well, you have to have inspections. And then 5 completely removed the appraisal writer, which we did. 2 offered an appraisal gap insurance in varying amounts, and 2 retained the appraisal writer. If you're coming in on this property, you knew there were at least 4 offers. If you're coming in without an escalation clause, okay, you're an idiot. So there were 4 of those. If you're coming in with the inspection, I went with an inspection, but we just wanted, a certain. I mean, I was totally fine with ours, but I also had less than a 10-day inspection period. I mean, so I was good there. And then completely removed the appraisal writer. I did that. And why you would keep an appraisal writer in this market, I don't know, unless you had to. And so that's one thing I wanted to go over with you is, look, if things are going over appraisal, if they're selling for more than what the appraisal comes in at, you're responsible for that space. Now, since that is the case, you need to set up a situation where you have enough cash to be able to cover that appraisal. So I was doing some quick numbers on this particular house. Their particular mortgage they were using was 3% down. Okay. So let's just say that was $5,000. Okay. So they had $5,000 in cash to close. Then what we did was we said, okay, well, that's what we thought the house would appraise for. And I think it was reasonable to assume the house would appraise because we'd seen houses in the same area before. We'd seen our comparable sales. It was easily going to appraise for that. So then we said, okay, well, according to the max offer we make, do we have the cash, if needed, to clear the appraisal? And the answer was yes. Yes, we did. And that's what you have to do if you're representing your buyers. You're going to have to find out in this market, can you make the appraisal gap? Can you pay that in cash? Because I have another buyer who's coming in as 100%, and he doesn't have any cash to put down. So if anything that goes over appraisal, we're not getting, which is why we would require an appraisal writer. But really, it's going to go FHA, so we don't even. It's already part of the contract. So yeah, that's an issue. That's an issue, and a lot of times, people aren't paying attention to that, and their agents aren't paying attention to that because, as I told you yesterday, the agents tend to care about the deals, okay, and they let the financing go to the mortgage person or the lender, and I have no problem with that, okay. But you do have to know some information so that you can write an offer that's got a chance of getting the house. Would have liked to have this house that these people were looking at, but there's another house that's got 2 bathrooms coming up in next week on the same street. So do I feel bad? No. Do they feel bad? No. Everyone that I know of has been conditioned in this market to understand that just because you want a house doesn't mean you're going to get it. Now, I'm sad because I told you before, it's a rush. Putting an offer in on a house is a rush. Submitting an offer and the chance, even if it's no chance, but you put in an offer, you're waiting around hoping to get that house under contract. It's a rush. It's exciting. And certainly at 2:00 yesterday afternoon, I was let down. I was sad. It goes 2 different ways. One, you always second guess yourself. Gosh, if I would have just added 5,000 more to the contract, maybe I would have gotten it. Gosh, if I would have offered 10,000 more, maybe I would have got it. But that's the way it goes. And then the other thing is man, you feel for your buyers. Like I feel for them. I want them to feel, I don't know. I want them to know that I care and I understand that it's sad. I was thinking about something while I was talking and it didn't go well because I was trying to figure out how to do something and now I think I got it figured out. Anyway. All right. Well, that's the story. This weekend, I'm supposed to show stuff today, but I don't think it's going to happen. Quite honest. I just don't see it happening. Let's get into Google Trends. I mean, we're rocking today. We are rocking. Let's do it. Here we go. Screen share. Now, I don't know anything, especially about entertainment, so I think this article should be a blast. It says Jane Campion. I don't know if that's her name, like if that's how you say it, but that's how we're going to go with it. Faces criticism for comment about Venus and Serena Williams during Critics' Choice Awards speech. Now, I don't know anything about this. I guess it was last night. It says, along the road to the Oscars, becoming an internet hero can be a fleeting accomplishment. It says that's what happened to Jane Campion, director of The Power of the Dog, over the weekend, as she went from being championed on Twitter one night to being criticized the next. Yes, I think that's true. I think that on these platforms, you need to virtue signal all the time, and if you don't do it enough, you're in trouble. You got to and somehow you got to find out what is the right think, and then you always have to be on that side, and then write something, and then people will always love you. So it says on Saturday, the internet crowned Campion their queen for responding to Sam Elliott's crude criticism of The Power of the Dog on the red carpet ahead of the DGA Awards. Now, I don't know what the DGA Awards are. It says, I'm sorry, he was being a little bit of a B word. He's not a cowboy, he's an actor, she told Variety's somebody other. The West is a mythic space, and there's a lot of room on the range. I think it's a little bit sexist. It says Campion's comments and the way she delivered them became instant internet fodder to the extent that the Saturday Night Live star, Bowen Yang, accepted the challenge to possibly portray her in an upcoming Weekend Update while walking the Critics' Choice Awards carpet the next day. I don't know who Bowen Yang is. Apparently, she or he is on Saturday Night Live. It says, however, while accepting the award for Best Director during Sunday's ceremony, Campion's speech turned controversial when she commented on tennis legends Venus and Serena Williams' tennis prowess. It says, the remarks began innocently enough with the filmmaker thanking her presenter, fellow New Zealander, Taika Waititi, and the Critics' Choice Association. It's absolutely stunning to be here tonight among so many incredible women. But is this a women thing? Campion said, holding her first of the Netflix movies for trophies while the audience clapped and cheered. Okay, so her show's on Netflix. It says, Holly Berry, you've already done my speech and really liked it. Really killed it. I loved it. You're brilliant, she continued, praising the evening's See Her Award winner before turning her attention to King Richard's subjects, Venus and Serena Williams. It says, what an honor to be in the room with you. Now, you know what? I'm just going to say this. No one has ever said to me, like when I'm at a party or something, they've never said, what an honor it is to be in the room with you. Like that just doesn't happen. Okay? Like never. Like 44 years old, never had that happen. It says, Campion said with a hearty laugh, adding, I've taken up tennis, I truly have. And Will Smith, if you want to come over and give me lessons, I would truly love it. I actually had to stop playing because I've got tennis elbow. Now, so in that whole story, she's I don't know the word, but she's being gracious, okay? And then she's taken up tennis and she's already dropped tennis, but she's dropped like 7 names of celebrities in that paragraph. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. There used to be this, I don't know, they don't use it anymore. It was called ass kissing. That's what this was. Then they called it brown nosing. That's what she's doing. Now I think it's called virtue signaling. I think that's well, no, not exactly. But anyway, we know where this is going, okay? So then it says Campion then saluted her fellow nominees, or the guys. So we got to make it into a man and woman thing, referring to the male directors in her category. I'm not going to read it all because it's fine. And then it says Venus, and then she goes back and says, Venus and Serena, you're such marvels. Circling back to her early talking about, however, you don't play against the guys like I have to. So now she has taken herself and said that in her field, she is a pioneer because she's a woman and she competes against men, and the men are so much more difficult to compete against than the women in directing films. So then it says, the comment received loud cheers in the ballroom, but perhaps louder critique on social media where it was viewed as cringy at best and arrogant and ignorant. You're ignorant. You remember that? I don't know if they still do that. At its most offensive. It says it wasn't so much Campion's tone, which was light and joking, like the rest of her speech, but that the content of her words that felt disrespectful. Some noted that Venus and Serena Williams could not only play against, but most likely beat the men in their sport. I don't know about that. You really think that? At what age? And against who? Like, could they beat a man standing there? Could they beat me? Yes. I'm terrible at tennis. I'm terrible. You could definitely beat me. Are you going to say that the number one men's player and the number one women's player, they go up against it and the woman wins? Best of 3, best of 5, best of 9, best of 11? What are we doing? Anyway, if you want to believe that, you're welcome to it. But most commenters, and see that was smart, okay? So some of those people noted that and they're wrong. But it says, but most commentators simply question her decision to bring the Williams sisters and their tennis prowess into that conversation at all. One clip frequently used to express their displeasure came in the form of Real Housewives star of Atlanta star Nene Leakey's classic line, now why am I in it? I don't, it's a classic line that I've never heard of, but yeah, I mean, I know what she was doing. Let me explain to you. She was trying to make a comparison of the people in the room. She was trying to make a comparison about how difficult her deal is, and it's not nearly as difficult for other people. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Like, she was trying to set herself above, like, athletes, basically. That her work is much more difficult in directing movies than playing tennis. I see what she did there. I don't know how she could have done it more wrong in a room. I would say stay away from sports in general. Maybe would have fixed that. And gosh, what it did was it marginalized the two tennis players. That's what that statement did. It's like, I'm a director. I'm better than you. And I have to compete against men, and it's much more difficult than your soirees at tennis. So that was that. I can see where you'd have anger there. It really wasn't that she said that they were. It really wasn't this belief that you can't be serious and think that the setup here is going to favor women tennis players, because it's not. But it's that you put them down. I understand that. It says Campion did not immediately respond to requests for comments. She's probably hiding, which is okay. And she'll apologize, I'm sure. But following the Critics' Choice Award broadcast, the filmmaker and Venus Williams were seen together at a Netflix after party. It's unclear if the women discussed the moment, but they did pose for some photographs together, and they were spotted among the contingent of dancing partygoers, which also include Lin-Manuel Miranda, Maggie Gyllenhaal, and the streamer's CEO, Ted Sarandos. I don't understand that. But anyway. So, I mean, if it was really that big of a deal, they probably would have been dancing together and taking photographs. So here's the internet creating drama, which is fine. That's what the internet's for, I think. It says either way, the awkward about face comes just 24 hours after Campion went viral for responding to Sam Elliott's crude criticism of the power of the dog. During a recent guest appearance on Mark Maron's WTF podcast, the actor who most recently starred in the Yellowstone prequel series 1883 and is known for his work in westerns, criticized aspects of the western thriller. During the interview, he called out the film for its allusions of homosexuality and questioned Campion's knowledge of the genre. What the blank does this woman from down there know about the American West? Why the blank did she shoot this movie in New Zealand and call it Montana? And say this was the way it was? That blanking rubbed me the wrong way. Says Campion told Variety she takes a more expansive view of the Western genre and shared that she views Elliott's take as a slight against her as a female artist. What a wacky thing to say. When you think about the number of amazing westerns made in Spain by director Sergio, she's comparing herself to Sergio Leone. I consider myself a creator. I think he thinks of me as a woman or something lesser first, and I don't appreciate that. Really? That's where you're going to go? Okay. I don't write the rules. Wow, just all kinds of just drama at the People's Choice Awards. Is that the People's Choice Awards? Whose Choice Awards is this? Critics' Choice. So it's not the people, it's the critics. That's an embarrassment. The whole thing is an embarrassment. All right, well, where are we at on time? That's the important thing, because I gotta stay going. We're 34 minutes in. We have luxury listings in Norfolk, Virginia, and we have some real estate articles. And I'm going to just look and see real quick. One's going to be about mortgage payments, and one's a sad one. States with the most single people buying homes. Maybe we'll get to another one. Who knows? Anyway, I don't know who this woman is. I didn't know who she was before this, and I don't really care. I do know who the tennis players were. I don't know if they're still playing. They were good. They're good. I mean, I don't have anything negative to say about them. I haven't watched 1883, and I don't think I will. That's where I'm at. I mean, I don't like this. I don't particularly this. There's nothing about this woman that I particularly like. Now you say, well, it's because she's a woman. No, no, no. I mean, there's got to be some sort of baseline that says, I don't like what she says and I don't like what she did. There, woman or man. Okay, so I solved that problem. Let's get into the homes now. Norfolk is close to like the water. That's what I know about Norfolk, and there's a lot of $1 million homes. Just million though, not like ridiculous. Let's look at this one. It's a $1.3 million 5-bedroom, 4.5 bath, 3,890 square feet on a 3.5 acre lot. And it's new to Realtor.com as of 5 hours ago. 50 pictures, which is my limit. And you can see like it's right on the water, on the Lafayette River, it says. The property details, look at that, not very big, and we'll read those in a minute, but I did want to look at the property history. Yeah, listed the 14th, literally listed today for $1.3 million. So this is great. So it says, handsome Tudor-style home sited on a lush 3.5 acre waterfront lot. This home has 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. The first floor has a large living room with wood-burning fireplace, dining room, large eat-in kitchen, family room with built-ins, and a sunroom plus a full bathroom and a half bath. Upstairs, there are 4 guest rooms and 2 full bathrooms, plus the large primary suite with 2 walk-in closets and a private bathroom. Outside, there is a raised deck off of the sunroom that steps down to an in-ground swimming pool, surrounded by a slate patio. The huge detached garage has room for up to 4 cars and walk-up storage above, updated mechanical systems, and natural gas generator. The property also has a wood bulkhead, dock, and boat lift. While fully optional, the swimming pool, boat lift, and fireplace all will convey as is. Shown by appointment only with the listing agent present for all showings. Okay. Owners need to occupy the property until mid-July. This is a very good description because it tells the agent what we're up against. Okay. So first of all, the listing agent's going to be at the property, and they're probably, depending, like in St. Louis, the good listing agents that are forced to be at properties typically stand there, point out a few things nicely, and that's it. They let you walk around. Other ones that you're clinging on your back all the time, those people are terrible, and I don't like those kinds of showings. It's the fireplace. Like for me, if I'm listing a home with a fireplace in St. Louis, I always put it as is because it's always going to be something wrong with it. Never been a fireplace that's been right in my existence. So we don't mess with it. I don't know what a boat lift is, and the swimming pool, let's just see. So, I mean, I like the entrance, right? And then I love this view because I kind of have a good idea where we're at. This doesn't help me much because I see like 12 houses. There's your lift. And is that the front door? I mean, I guess. Kind of an odd way to see the front door. There's your fireplace. It's a pretty house, okay? It's not like, it's not hip. No one's buying this house saying, like, look at, I mean, they got the white appliances from 1980. Not complaining. I had this in college. I had this same table. But I mean, could you do things to this home to make it really stunning? Yes. Yes. And perhaps it's not listed for, a ridiculous price in that area. Perhaps it's actually listed so where you could go in there and make some improvements and it makes sense. I mean, that's a big bedroom, right? This same shower I had yesterday, this same shower door in the condo. I'm not trying to be critical, but what does this do for me? Like, this doesn't help me at all. I mean, I get it's a bathroom, but I mean, it's like cut off. Heading into the spring, I think you should pull the, I mean, you have all this overgrowth on the pool. I think you should cut that away. There's your garage. You know, what is it? If you say, well, John, what is it missing compared to what you see? Well, is there like a pool cabana? Is there something? Is there something covering a section so that you could go enjoy the outside? It doesn't look. It doesn't appear to be that there is. Like, see right here is that you should have like a pool. This was good for like a long time ago, but now that really people are really investing in outdoor spaces, and this outdoor space is not up to par with what I'm seeing across the country for premium listings. If you ask my opinion, maybe nobody did. Actually, I know no one did. So let's look at the next one. Now, this one's also a new listing. It says 1.3 million, 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, 48 pictures, built in 1979, 4-car garage, 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, 4,405 square feet. Property history just listed on the 11th. Property details: gorgeous home in Ghent, across from The Hague, which is kind of weird. We have The Hague in the United States. Custom designed by architect Brad Taswell. Open, unique floor plan, atrium in center of the home with a foundation and landscaping. The home offers a wonderful flow pattern, wonderful for entertaining. Updated kitchen with granite counters with 2 separate undermount sinks, chef's delight Thermador stainless steel appliances, double oven, dishwasher, sub-zero refrigerator with a Gen Air grill, gas cooktop with high-powered vent, gorgeous glass tiled backsplash, tiled floors in the kitchen, wine cellar, 4 zoned heating and air, 4 fireplaces, 2 wood burning and 2 gas fireplaces, beautiful refinished cherry floors. So many wonderful upgrades in this gorgeous custom home, centrally located within easy access to downtown Norfolk. Centara Norfolk General, King's Daughter Children's Hospital, EVMS ODU. Quiet neighborhood with easy access to many amenities. Fine dining in central location, interstate. Come take a look. This may be the perfect home for you. Well, it might be. It might be. I'm not really from this area. It would not occur to me to go to Norfolk, Virginia under any circumstance. But I'm all for it. I mean, we've looked at places in Nebraska that I'll never go to. So let's just take a look. So this is the first. Oh, that's nice. Now, what you should be nervous about is when they don't show the front of the house as the first picture. I mean, why are we just showing that? That should be the second picture after we show the outside. And why aren't we getting a good view of the outside of the house? It's got an atrium. I don't know about you, but I like. Oh, look at that. I like the idea of an atrium. Wow. That's something. Look at that. That. How many square feet? 4,000 square feet. So it's not that big. Wow. You know, you get in this situation where it's like, it's so out of date. Like, if we just don't touch it, does it? I mean, are we, should we preserve this? Because this is, people don't do this like this anymore. I mean, we're talking straight out of the 70s. I mean, there's the water. Ugh. I mean, everything in this house has to be redone. And again, now you're showing me the back of the house, but not the front. What's up with that? So, I don't know what to make of that house. Other than it's a lot of work. A lot of work. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the last listing. $1.2 million. And I mean, you're right next to another house, it looks like. 6 beds, 5.5 baths, built in 1948 on a half-acre lot. 7 days on the market. So, I mean, see how fast things are selling? Even in the luxury space in Norfolk, there's like not a lot of inventory that's been sitting here. So maybe people are pricing things right. here, you know, we're not like, what was it, 1,500 days on the market yesterday was a house? Ridiculous. So the property history listed 3/7/2022. It's just 314. Sold in 2011. I mean, hey, that makes sense. It says located in the fashionable River Point section of Norfolk, you can live in style on the Lafayette River in your spacious 6-bedroom traditional. Enjoy water views from many rooms, including the covered rear outdoor dining area. The dock pier boat lift provides access to the waterfront for family activities. Plus, you're only minutes away from the Norfolk Yacht and Country Club for many activities and a short ride to the Waterside Festival of downtown for dining and festivities. The home has a large eat-in kitchen, fully equipped with newer appliances, a large family room, a Renali hot water heating system, 3 fireplaces, hardwood floors, and ceramic tile flooring, a home office, gas-forced air heat, and 3 zones of air conditioning, and a huge updated primary suite. No flood insurance is required. Boat lift capacity is 12,000 pounds. High tide at the dock is approximately 4 feet, shown by appointment. Okay. So this is a lifestyle that I don't have here in St. Louis. We don't particularly have like water. I mean, we have the Mississippi River, but nobody really goes and hangs out on the Mississippi River. We do have the lake, but I don't go to the lake, and it's like 2 hours away, at least. And it gets really crowded, and it's like it's a little too exciting for me, if that makes any sense. I like to keep it low key. So anyway, let's look at this house. 50 pictures. Let's see if we can get through them. Okay. I guess this is our house. I don't know. There's 2 other houses next to it, so that doesn't help. I don't know really what the lift is about. I guess that keeps the thing from getting barnacles and stuff. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know, again, if we're looking at our property or someone else's here. This is the house. Okay. That's good. I could have used that as the first picture. 4,500 square feet basically means that if I'm doing the square footage right, you got like 2,200 square feet on the bottom floor, 2,200 square feet on the top floor-ish. Nice kitchen. I mean, the kitchen is 10 times better than the other kitchen we saw. I mean, what I would call a tray ceiling and built in 1948. That's pretty impressive. I love this concept of that's where you put the wood for the night. That's pretty cool. I don't want a wood fireplace in my house. I'm good with gas. Beautiful, beautiful bathroom. I mean, what they did, they made updates. They made smart updates to the right parts of the house. Of all the houses you saw, okay, is this the house that you would rather have? To me, the lot is weird. The lot is strange. You are right next to people, but it seems like it needs the least amount of work. Let me check just to make sure. Okay, I was worried we might have people in the chat. I didn't want them to. I didn't want them to be left alone. Okay, so that's what we have for today. I kind of like the style of Norfolk. I would like to see like a mansion like that was, completely updated and ready to go. But you can't always get what you want. So we're going to move on to an article. This, I think, is important. I think that we're not paying attention here. Mortgage payments jumped 22.5%. So housing affordability is tightening as home prices continue to climb faster than incomes. The median family income rose by 4.5% year over year, while the monthly mortgage payment rose 22.5%. The threat of rising mortgage rates could pose another challenge to housing affordability in the coming months as well. In the fourth quarter, the average monthly mortgage payment on an existing single-family home rose to $1,240 based on a median home value of $361,000, with a 20% down payment and a 3.13% 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Okay? This marks a jump of $201 compared to a year ago. That's per month. Mortgage payments are comprising a median of 16.9% of a family's household income, up from 14.7% a year ago. The good news is that the home prices should begin to normalize later in 2022 as more homes come on the market. That's what he thinks. I don't agree with him. And I also, home prices normalizing, I don't know. It's really strong right now. There are really bad things going on in the world. There's really bad economic things going on at home. At some point in time, we will have to pay for them. In 20 markets, a family needed more than $100,000 to afford a 10% down payment on a mortgage. In these markets, the median home sale price ranged from $537,400 to $1.675 million. Some of the priciest metros from home ownership are San Jose, San Francisco, Anaheim, San Diego, Los Angeles, Hawaii. And I'm not complaining. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in California, and then 1 in Hawaii. So it's expensive to live in Hawaii in California. So then you got Colorado, Seattle, Portland, Naples, Barnstable Town, Boston, Nassau County, Newark, New Jersey is bizarre to me because we went there to look at houses and it was completely underwhelming. It says where households need the least. Pockets of affordability in housing still exist. However, in 81 markets, a family needed less than $50,000 to afford a home. National Association of Realtors located in metro areas in which the median home sales price was less than $160,000, a family needed less than $30,000 to purchase a home. Some of these markets, according to NAR, include NAR is the National Association of Realtors, Decatur, Peoria, Davenport. Have you been there? I've been there. Waterloo, Cedar Falls, Springfield, Rockford, Illinois, Iowa, Youngstown, Warren, Boardman, Toledo, Erie, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Binghamton, Elmira, New York, and Cumberland, Maryland, West Virginia. You see, I've always said, I've got some time, so I'll just stay here. I've always said that people don't really look at the top home price when they're buying a home. I mean, yes, they look at it, but it's not as important to them as the payment. The payment dictates what they will buy. Okay. So that's why mortgage rates are obviously such a big deal because it affects the payment. You know, if you're making $4,000 at work per month, you know, you really can only afford maybe a $1,500. I mean, to be clear on your rest of your house, you can really only afford like $1,500 a month on your mortgage. Or else you're in, you know, dicey territory. If you lose your job or something like that, you got no savings. You might want to go out. You might have a passion you want to pursue. You better be at $1,500 or less on the mortgage payment. Now, you know, when the mortgage payments go up because home prices go up and interest rates go up, you've got a problem. It's one of the most stark things that I see as a real estate agent that no one else understands. Let me lay it out for you. The question could be posed as, John, why don't people have 2,500 square foot homes? Like, why isn't that obvious? Why do they have these 1,000 square foot and below homes? Why were all these built? Well, it was more expensive. The ability to borrow money is right now, it's like water. You literally go anywhere you want to. But we have to understand in the 70s, I mean, the interest rates were like 20% at one point in time. They went down, you know, but it wasn't unusual or unheard of to pay a significant amount on your money. I mean, it was bad. If you were working then, you know, you weren't making like inflation has caused a bubble, and it always will cause a bubble. Inflation always will, because it very seldom ever goes back down. You know, I mean, our house price is going to go down at some point in the future. Yes. Okay. But is it going to go down at the rate that it was at the bottom when we started this silliness? No. No, it's not. So just, you know, if you're going to buy a house, fine. And by the way, I just want you to see how it's there. This might be fun. Hey, what's that? What's that? Like, can you see below me? Here, I do it that way, but I got the camera. Can you see below me right there? It's the same one. Pretty cool, huh? I am a realtor, so that would be normal for me to have that. Anyway, high payments are a problem. Always. Bottom line. Next one. New study has revealed the state status. I'm sorry. I had that wrong. Let's try again. New study has revealed the states with the largest proportion of single-person households. It says the District of Columbia ranks first with the largest percentage of single-person households overall. The District of Columbia has a large proportion of business professionals and the lowest median age of all states. This means that there are many people living alone while they pursue their careers. North Dakota ranks second with 33.6% of all households being single-person households. North Dakota has seen a recent boom in population, increasing by 15% between 2010 and 2020 census. This may be partly due to the fact that the state leads the U.S. in job creation, attracting young professionals. These factors are likely to play a large role in the high number of single-person households. Vermont ranks third with 31% of all households being made up of single-family people. The research also details the states with the highest proportion of widowers and divorcees. West Virginia, Alabama, and Arkansas have the highest proportion of widowed households. West Virginia obtaining a percentage of 7.8%, and Alabama and Arkansas both obtaining a percentage of 7.1%. Maine and Nevada have the joint highest proportion of divorced people, with 14% of each population being divorced. Well, that's an odd stat. Maine and Nevada have the joint highest proportion of divorced people, with 14% of each population being divorced. The top three least lonely states are Utah, Alaska, and Hawaii, obtaining lonely state scores of 0.72, 2.32, and 2.56. It says the 10 states with the largest percentage of single-person households. It says District of Columbia, North Dakota, Vermont, New Mexico, Maine, Ohio, Rhode Island, Illinois, Montana, and New York. Lonely state scores. So it's by percentage. So that's over here. What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what I would take a stab at this, and I would say that if you're building things there, you're a home builder. Let's get me out of this article. If you're a home builder, maybe you're building homes that make more sense for single people. Now in North Dakota, I don't think there's that much of the population anyway. It's not a lot of people there. More than before, of course, what the article said. But like D.C., Washington, D.C., you're probably building, condos more so than a single-family home. If you can, who knows how much, buildable space is there right now? I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about anything? So, just to end today, I want to say thanks for watching. I know you don't watch during the live stream, but I know you watch later. I wanted to say that I do have a plan in place for some growth. If I can just get some time, I got to get some time together, and I just want to say thanks. Thanks for watching. I'm going to cut it short today. I know that's crazy, but I got through everything I wanted to get through, and I'm comfortable. Today, to me, I just got to do a bunch of stuff. It's going to take all day. I hope to have dinner with my wife tonight. That would be a plus. But other than that, tomorrow, 9:00, we'll discuss the real estate industry a little bit more. We'll say what's going on. Hopefully, if you were to listen to one of my live streams, you would at least know what's going on in the marketplace and what you need to be aware of. And that's really been my goal. So anyway, with that, I'm going to head on out. Thank you for watching. I will catch you tomorrow. 9 a.m. YouTube, Deerwood Realty live stream channel.